I've met some really organic people on this platform as of lately, and I just really appreciate the discussion, the support, the encouragement. Um, there's a lot of good people in this country of all races, and that's why I say that America is not racist because I've I feel like if you follow my content and you see how people of different races and genders interact, you know, America is not this country that is being projected. Do we have a group of people in this country that may have some ideologies that don't fit into the social contract? Absolutely. But do those people encompass who America is as a whole? Absolutely not. And I think it's a shame that we've been sensationalized as such this year. But I want to thank all of the open minded people who have connected with me, who have asked my opinion about things to gain their own retrospect. I think, again, like I said, imparting intellectual knowledge upon each other is our responsibility and is how we grow and as a people and in understanding each other as well. Um, I'm really excited that I finished my last round of licensing exams, at least for the moment. I think I have one more, but it's not as tedious as the ones I've been taking. Um, but I'm excited about this because it gives me an opportunity to grow in an industry that I never thought that I would be in. I've always shied away from the finance industry just because I didn't think that it fit me, like my character, my mode, my intellectual thinking in terms of what I wanted to do. But learning this has really, given me going through this process has given me an opportunity to learn something about myself that, the only person that holds me back is me. And that's 100%. I feel like I can do almost anything I want to do if I get over my fear and my laziness and just do it. And I think that that's a lesson for a lot of people is sometimes the very person that holds us back from succeeding is us, and maybe it doesn't have anything to do with systemic racism or whatever other obstacles that may or may not exist. So I just want to tell people that, regardless of what happens at the end of the day, 2020 was a bust, but we still got 2021. And if God willing, I'm hoping that we all get there peacefully, let go of the anger and get our own retrospect and own our own narrative. And I think that's one of the things that a lot of people need to do right now these days is kind of step back from all the sensational rhetoric and think about your own narrative and think about your own future and think about what you are responsible for doing to secure that future. And I think once some people do that, I think some of the progress that we're missing, it's going to happen. When you got people taking your jobs away, it puts people in a very unique mindset, So I think that the current administration, for whatever character flaws you feel like the president has or whatnot, the current administration has the interests of American workers in mind. And I feel like people need to stop being distracted with things that are being sensationalized because somebody dropped a movie and mainstream media is just yelling and screaming like little kids that lost terribly, and get your own retrospect. Because I'm be honest with you, I have never heard of systemic racism until of recently. Somebody created something new. And I'm like, what is systemic racism? What is it? What is systemic racism? Because there's too many examples of successful black people that even if they experience racism, it didn't hold them back from being successful. So I want to understand systemic racism because I've never experienced it. I've encountered racist people, but they have never stopped my hustle. And the racist individual that I ran into one time at a workplace, they were gone before I was, and they were there longer than me. So at the end of the day, I feel like the systemic racism argument is just another little psychological, whatever tag people want to use to uh, to to sort of mask over some things that may be seriously lacking in them, and they don't want to be accountable for that. Maybe it's you don't want to work as hard as somebody else. Maybe you don't want to go out and do something different, like maybe take a FINRA exam. Take a FINRA exam. Let me tell you something. If you take a FINRA exam, you'll never think about systemic racism again. I promise you. I promise you. Because it's like one of those things that if you're achieving passing FINRA exams, you're so beyond that. Like, seriously. I mean, I'm not even kidding you. But, like I said, I've never experienced systemic racism. And I don't want to minimize anybody else's experience. I just don't want you to project your experience onto me. Just because you had that experience in the workplace doesn't mean that I'm going to have it. And that's the truth. And so I feel like older generations need to stop projecting their experiences onto newer generations and allow them to own their own narrative without you in their ear telling them that they need to wear a mask to work because you had to wear one. So, own your own narrative, be your own boss, get up, show up, put your capabilities and your skills on the tables. Don't put problems on the table unless you couple them with solutions. Otherwise, you're just blowing smoke, and don't nobody want to hear that.